Hello students, standard 8th. In biology, we started chapter number 2. The name of the chapter is Microorganisms, Friend and Foe, in which we learned that what are the microorganisms actually. Because we saw so many organisms around us, plants and animals, etc. But besides that also, as we know that there are so many very tiny organisms which we cannot even see with our naked eyes or unaided eyes, and therefore we need microscope to watch them, and for that purpose also they are known as microorganisms or microbes. Now we also talk that they can survive in any type of condition, any types of weather. As we saw that they can be found in the ice cold water, they can be found in the very hot spring, they can be found in the deserts, they can be found in the grassland, they can be found in the muddy lands. It means that bacteria and those microorganisms can survive in all types of weather condition. And also we know that they are classified in 4 major groups, and those major groups are like bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoa. And we saw some pictures, the names of some of them are unicellular, some of them are multicellular also. Now these microorganisms are around us. It means that they are everywhere. As we know that they are in the air, they are in the water, they are in our food, they are on our clothes. Also some of them are inside our body, and some are in the soil also. It means that they are very important in our life. So microorganisms and us, what is the relation between us? So microorganisms play an important role in our life, both ways. Some of them are very useful, beneficial for us, and other side you can see that some of them are very harmful also, because in last lecture also we learn about it, that some causes diseases in the plants and animals, the bacteria, the fungi, viruses. Actually viruses are not microorganisms, because we already talked about it, that when they are outside any living cell, they are like non-living, because they don't show any activity. But when they enters the body of a living cell, plant cell or an animal cell, they becoming active, they grow and they reproduce, and the number is increasing. So these, some of them are causes some diseases also, like flu, influenza, whatever you call, and so on, typhoid, tuberculosis, common cold, etc. So now we have to learn that how they are useful for us first, and then how they are harmful for us also. Because some of them are friendly microorganisms and some are harmful. So let us know how they are friendly. So now we are going to learn about the friendly microorganisms. Friendly means they are useful for us, anyhow beneficial for us. Those are known as the friendly microorganisms. In so many activities, so many purposes, various purposes, we are using those microorganisms. For example, first we start, bacteria are used for making curd, cheese and so many other food items. You eat cheese, you eat curd. For that, bacteria are helping us. The special bacteria, the name is lactobacillus. That lactobacillus bacteria causes the curd from milk. They form the curd from the milk. Those lactobacillus bacteria are growing inside the milk, and the number of them increases because they reproduce, and then they make lactic acid, which turns the milk into curd. So the lactobacillus bacteria are in the air. So whenever we put the curd in the milk and stir it, then overnight we keep it. The next day, the growth of that bacteria, the number of them increases in the milk and turns the milk into curd. So these special bacteria are named by lactobacillus bacteria, and they cause the formation of curd from milk. Some of the microorganisms are used to clean the environment, cleaning up of environment. How? We know that some of the microorganisms are very useful for the decomposition of waste material. Like in the first chapter also we learned that manure, how you prepare manure from the animal waste and the plant waste. They are getting rotten by whom? By this bacteria, microorganisms, worms, vermicompost also we know about it. So these microorganisms breaking down the rotten material, waste material, and by decomposition they clean the environment. So they are using as the cleaning agent of the environment because they decompose all the waste material, and so we get rid from this rubbish or the dirty things around us. So they are using to cleaning up the environment also. In agriculture, we already know about it that bacteria are used to increase soil fertility, because some of the bacteria, we already learned about that also, that the plants need nitrogen, but they cannot take nitrogen directly from the air around us, and thus nitrogen is needed by the animals also for the formation of protein and so many things. But the animals also cannot take that nitrogen. The animals can take it from the food only, and the plants, they can take the nitrogen in the form of nitrogenous compounds from the soil. But as it is used up by the crops, the nitrogen is getting laid smaller and smaller quantity inside the soil. Their amount is getting decreased. But there are some bacteria. They have ability. The bacteria, some a special type of bacteria, and a blue-green algae. Those two are able to fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere. Those bacteria are known as the rhizobium bacteria. We know that rhizobium bacteria. Those rhizobium bacteria are staying in the nodules of the root of legume plants. Legume plants means our pulses, all the pulses and the groundnut. That plants are known as legume plants. So those rhizobium bacteria staying in the root nodules of these legume plants, and they fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere. And in return, the plants give them shelter and food that they prepared. So it is beneficial for both of them that they are getting shelter and food from the plants, and in return they fix that nitrogen from the atmosphere, and thus they are helping us to increase the fertility of the soil. Otherwise, we have to do use of the fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, which are very costly also, and the excessive use of that fertilizers can damage the fertility. They can spoil the fertility of the soil also. So if you don't want to use that fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, we have to use this legume plants such that the nitrogen fixers are there. So those bacteria, blue-green algae and that bacteria, which bacteria? Rhizobium bacteria. They have only the ability to fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere. So those are known as biological nitrogen fixers. Biological nitrogen fixers, because they can only fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere. Those bacteria and yeast are also used for fermentation to make idlis, cake, soft and spongy. We know that when they make the bread, they make the cake, and when we make the dough of like idlis and the dosa and the dokla, etc., we know that there is a fermentation takes place in it. If you don't know, ask your mother when they make the dough for idli. What happens? She don't make it at instance, but she will make the dough maybe the previous night, and then the next day, if you see that the level of the dough will raise up, and you will see some bubbles also in it. It is done by the bacteria. The bacteria from the atmosphere is mixing in the dough, and they respire anaerobically, means without oxygen. During this process, they produce alcohol and carbon dioxide gas. Therefore, sometimes you smell some sour taste in the dough of these things. That is because of the production due to the fermentation, that is the alcohol. Due to the alcohol, they are smelling like sour. And the carbon dioxide used that is coming out, and therefore you will see the bubbles. And it is known as the frotting also, that we are going to learn here now. So that fermentation was actually invented by Dr. Louis Pasteur. So that fermentation is, because of that fermentation and the carbon dioxide produced, the idlis and cake are more soft and spongy. If the fermentation is not much properly done, then your idlis will be hard, your dhokla will be hard, not like a spongy. So if there is so much yeast is there from the atmosphere, then they will produce more carbon dioxide, and then the fermentation is perfect. And then from that dough, if you make that idli, dosa or that dhokla, etc., that will make very, very soft and spongy. Now, commercial use of microorganism means in the industries, like some fungi like yeast and some molds are used for the production of alcohol and bakery products, because we know that when they do the fermentation, they produce alcohol, they produce carbon dioxide. So in the bakery products like bread, cakes, biscuits, etc., they are used because when yeast is produced grown in the sugar solution or some glucose also, then what do? They break down the glucose or they break down the sugar, but they don't break down completely. If they will break down completely, then directly only carbon dioxide and energy will be reduced. But they don't. The yeast don't break the sugar solution or the glucose completely, but they break down it partially and make another product which is known as alcohol. And also they produce a gas named carbon dioxide. So this incomplete breakdown of sugar make this alcohol and carbon dioxide, and that process, as I told you, is known as the fermentation process. And that fermentation process first was discovered by Louis Pasteur in the year of 1857. So they are using this carbon dioxide produced cause frothing of dough. Frothing means it getting raised. Barabar? Ask your mommy when they next time make the idli or dosa or that dhokla, khaman, etc. Then when they make the dough, it will not be full in the container. But next day or during the day, after the evening, when they so that the dough will be raised, means the level of the dough will be going up because of the fermentation. So if the more fermentation takes place, more spongy this bakery products and the idli, dosa, etc. are there. So they are used in the factories to make that cake, etc. And also the alcohol, when sugar solution is fermented by the yeast, then they produce alcohol also, and that alcohol is used for the products of the alcoholic drinks like the wine, beer, etc. So that alcohol produced by this process of fermentation is used in the industries to produce the alcoholic drinks. Therefore, in the factories, those yeast are grown in the sugar solution at a large scale, so that more yeast can produce more alcohol, so they can use that alcohol for the production of this alcoholic drinks. So now there is some other use also, like medicinal use and other uses. and the harmful organisms also that we will learn in the next session. So write down all this, which will be in the PDF file in your notebook. Listen the video completely, carefully, and if any confusion, please write down in the comment section. Thank you very much.